based on how the questions are coming in. But yeah, let's go straight into this one. And then we can look at the solutions, perhaps. Does banning single-use plastic even make a deny in the bigger problem of climate change? So this is from Collins Little Tete. Do you want to take the one, David?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I think that it's one of the things that lots of countries are adapting. Sort of, let's ban the single-use plastics, and then we are all good. But I think I have to draw this understanding that there is nothing wrong with the material plastics. I think that a lot of people just go out and start, saying all things because it's used in the medical field, it's used in technology. I mean, it's a super good material. The problem with plastics is not with the material, it's with the people who use it. So, how we use it and how we manage it is the problem. And I must say that at this particular moment, in this particular century, in this particular year, I don't think that banning single use plastics is for every country. And I say this because of other strategies that, if you do a feasibility analysis, you might think that, or you might get to know that it's way better off than to ban it. A typical example is we are currently doing a study in Rwanda, which we are just about starting.
Wow.
But from previous conversations that we had, um, Rwanda has been able to execute a ban on single use plastics for a couple of years now. But if you ask them, they are still going through challenges because they are like now an island in the northern part or in the eastern part of Africa who have banned single use plastics. But the other countries, I mean, imagine, Adrian, you just go to Rwanda, you just get to the airport and they set your bags for plastics. Whilst in any other country, you would never have that, right? I'm not saying it's bad, but those are some of the challenges that we have. And if we don't tackle this kind of, approach, like banning single-use plastics with a very thorough, study, and also see a feasibility of it in the surrounding country applicable in the country itself, then we might do it and it will bring lots of issues than it would have before. So I suggest that really, before we dive into something like that, we really have to do like a good study. What are the alternative materials to replace it with? What are some of the supply chain that are already working with the single-use plastics? And actually, it has to also deal with the human behavior. Are people really willing to, pay more? Because now sustainable materials are more expensive. If you have a plastic straw and someone has a metal straw, if you look at the prices, the metal straw is more expensive. And these are like, things that we really have to think about. Is the government willing to subsidize these materials? These are things that need to go in before the legalization comes in. And I think that's the main approach. And of course, in as much as people are looking at the banning, let's also look at, more like educating people on, sometimes you go and buy wache by the roadside and you can take a container to go and take it. And you just go and get this plastic
bag. Thank you so much. Yeah, because I don't like taking plastic bags of someone when I'm buying something. I'm like, no, keep it. Even in Ghana, they try and give it to you. I'm like, no, keep it. Let me use my own thing. I usually carry my rucksack if I'm cycling or whatever I'm doing, right? Or a car, whatever. So I definitely agree with you that one. And it's quite funny you mentioned the whole
banning
single-use plastic in Rwanda, because I'm sure you noticed my guest Samuel Brooksworth from Remotely. He said the exact same thing. So I interviewed Samuel Brooksworth, who owns Remotely, which is a virtual assistance company.
Amazing.
If you're listening, Samuel, shout out to you. And it's fastest growing virtual assistance company in Africa. And he said the exact same thing. He went to Rwanda with his wife. As soon as he got to the airport, they noticed his wife had a plastic bag in her bag. And then he was like, what are you doing to my wife? They're like, oh, you can't bring a plastic to the country. So this is fantastic border control, right?
Yeah.
So the way Ghana was treating COVID is the way they were treating the plastic bags.
Exactly.
In Rwanda. And that's why Rwanda is such a clean country.
Yeah.
So it's great. But the problem is, just like what you said, if Ghana tries to do that, it's all well and good. But one, do we have the infrastructure and the systems and the education to do that? And two, if you do that, would it lead to some kind of society collapse? I don't know.
Yeah.
But to some extent, it could do. So very, very interesting point. Very, very powerful.